What's going on, everyone? Justin Riley here with my all-star crew. The Bama Standard Postgame is on air. Alabama takes down Louisiana Monroe 73-0. Folks, let's go ahead and let's talk about it. If you're here, live chat, get rowdy tonight. I want to hear from you. Look, I know Louisiana Monroe wasn't a marquee opponent, but after what we saw last week, man, we need to have something to be excited about. So I expect y'all to be on point. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching the replay, get down in the comment section below. Show us some love there. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a crew that's worthy of all-star status, so I'm going to introduce them real quick. We got Johnathan Lewis, Daniel Pettey, who's never short of expressing his feelings. And now, new to the network and new to this panel, the illustrious Coach Carl Taylor. Gentlemen, roll tide.
Roll tide, man.
Roll tide.
Man, again, 73-0. We kind of I would say we didn't know what to expect from this team right now after what we saw last week in terms of effort. So what we're going to do right out the gate, we're going to give our instant reactions. For me, I think you can all agree, I didn't know what Alabama team was going to show up. Were we going to show up pissed off? Were we going to have that give a damn button pressed all the way on? Or would we just sleepwalk through it? It was a question that needed to be answered. And tonight, I think we had that answer. The give a damn button was turned way on. It was taped down, nailed down, actually, the entire game. The intensity did not waver at all. And didn't matter who was in there. They were giving 150% effort. It was like they were playing a marquee opponent like a Georgia or Tennessee, and they didn't care who was in their way because they decimated anyone that tried to challenge them. I saw people flying to the ball. I saw people squaring their shoulders up, being in position, not looking confused. And just as Coach DeBoer promised, we were going to see new faces, and we saw a lot of new faces tonight. And there are a few that jumped off the table, and we're going to talk about all those tonight. For me, my gosh, Lotzier Brooks, guys, I'm finding a new favorite wide receiver. And dare I say he might be a little bit better than one Ryan Williams.
Stop it.
Hey, this is not your
Stop
turn,
it.
sir. Because of your insolence, we're going to start out with Coach Carl first. And then we're going to go to Daniel Pettey and then come back to Johnathan if he starts to get a little act right. You know what I'm saying? But, yes, it was amazing seeing all the new guys get their opportunities. It was amazing seeing Kevin Riley game 2, had 114 total yards. Remind me a little bit of Kenyon Drake out there, arguably the hardest runner. No shade to Richard Young or Daniel Hill. But when you give that man the ball, he explodes out the chutes, and it's hard to get a hold of him. But you've heard enough from me. We're giving instant reactions.
I'm wondering if you're just going to give every take on the board and if there's going to be any
I'm waiting for it to end.
Yes, welcome to the Bama Standard, where everybody makes fun of the host and completely diminishes his power here on the network. But, Coach Carl, glad to have you in, brother. Give me your instant reaction before we start to really dissect this game.
Well, on my take, man, what I would say is I'm just happy that the team actually showed up to play like you just said. The second part about it, I'm glad to see Ty. You know, he was distributing the ball all across the field. He looked a little bit confident in it. Even though we were playing against an inferior opponent, he was very confident about it. The way he was moving about himself. I like the way that the running backs to press the gaps and hit the holes kind of strong. Offensive line looked consistent for the first time in a long time. Like, we were in this consistency, man, in a couple of years. So from what I've seen, I don't think we've been this consistent in a game since 2020. So it looked really, really good on the offensive standpoint. The defense was flying around, excited. You know, I seen James Smith out there dominating the line of scrimmage, which was very exciting to me because he was happy. He was flying around. So it lets you know that there was some of those injury bugs on James Smith is probably decided to leave. So, and then like I was just saying just a minute ago, Keon Keating made a hell of a play in the backfield. He didn't make the tackle, but he blowed the backfield up, made a play. So it's good to see him get some reps. So hopefully that'll transition to another game. Other than that, man, it looked like, a team that we should have beat by 73 points. But Alabama, we probably would have won with 55-7, 55-10 because we were giving up points. So this defense seemed like it was very optimistic about the way it played today. And I'm kind of excited about it, man. So let's hopefully it'll transition and we could transfer this energy and effort to next week when we play against Wisconsin.
Absolutely. You're up. Now, we had quite a week, didn't we, with AJ McCarron and Tyler Siskey not being shot in the slightest. And we had a lot to chew on going into this game. So off the bat, man, what was your take, your instant reaction?
It's funny you brought up Siskey and AJ because I was going to say something in regards to what AJ said. And, yeah, I mean, Monroe sucks. They're not good. You can't take anything away from like, hey, this guy got better or we're good because that guy's, man, we really good. Hey, you can take away the fact that the ball didn't hit the ground in the first half. I mean, that's hard to do against air. But what AJ said, for fans, for a lot of people, last week was such a bad taste. We're not going to feel good until there's a real opponent on the field, right?
Right.
But what AJ said was inside that locker room, though, you're still playing this football game. You treat this team like it has no face. Every team has no face, and you play to the best of your ability regardless of what that helmet, what the opponent is. You got to play to the best of your ability, and it looked like the guys did that tonight. Again, you didn't throw an incompletion in the first half. A lot of guys popped tonight. A lot of young guys. You mentioned Latsier Brooks was one that popped off the page. Young Drake Kirkpatrick, unfortunately, we're not going to get to see him the first half next week, but that kid was laying the damn wood, put his head on the ball, it caused a fumble. Big hit there at the end. Unfortunately, like I said, ended up being targeting. But there was just a lot of young kids flying around the ball. QB Reese was that looked really good there at the end of the game. That's all you can take from it is after a very bad week, a lot of the media, I mean, good Lord, the firestorm in the media on this program this week, to be able to come out and look that focused and play with that kind of fire regardless of who the opponent was. That's all you can ask because, look,
right,
you can make your schedule. You can't say, well, shit, we don't want Monroe now because of this week we opponent bring someone in. That's who you got. So you can't – I mean, you play who you got and you can take – so they took care of business.
Absolutely. Before we go to Jonathan, I remind everyone who is watching on X, after you watch this, come on over to our channel, our YouTube channel, the Bama Standard Network, and subscribe if you have not yet done so. Jonathan, take it away.
Yeah, no doubt. So the first thing I want to say is I love, by the way, nobody picked it up yet, the subtle shot that Daniel Pettey has made at Florida by having that South Florida. Yeah, that right there, right behind Florida today.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, Jonathan. My daughter, I live in Tampa. My daughter goes to South Florida. So, hey, all you Gators, bulls up, bitches.
That was I didn't know if that was on purpose or not, but man,
that's on purpose.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. There we go.
Bulls up, Gators.
The second thing I want to say is, look, guys, I get it. It's Louisiana Monroe. But if we're going to be fair and criticize them when they're bad, then we need to give the props when they're good. Otherwise,
absolutely.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So, right. So, and I do understand the downplay of, well, it's Louisiana Monroe. We're supposed to beat them. We're supposed to beat them bad. I agree to that. But so I'm still going to give the props because they're deserved. If I'm going to criticize them when they're down, if I'm going to kick them when they're down, I'm going to help them get up when they're up. Right. So Ty Simpson, my God, 17-17, right. Best ever in the SEC, best ever at the University of Alabama. The dude's definitely on the right trajectory. I didn't think he had a terrible game last week, all that great stuff. Latsier Brooks, we have heard nothing but outstanding things since, shout out to him, Ty Hayes at Around the Table Sports, shouted that dude out ever since he was, I believe, was in New Jersey, right, playing high school football. He has done nothing but come in and impress his staff from spring, fall, whatever it may be, right, all the way to now. And this is the second coming of, I saw it already on here, the Jalen Waddle, whatever that may look like, but the kid can play football. He's elusive. He's fast, right? He has good hands or great hands, apparently. because a couple of those balls were behind him and he caught them. So I'm going to give those props to him. Kevin Riley's obviously going to get a lot of love, but I want to give love to two guys that aren't going to get a lot of love. And I'm talking about you, Mr. James Smith, the guy that was in the backfield almost every other play, right? So the dude doing everything that nobody else is paying attention to. He's not going to be a stat patter, right? So because it's not often that their quarterbacks can have a second to a second and a half time to release the ball, which is the average it was tonight. So you're not going to get a lot of sacks. But the dude was consistently whipping his man. The second guy who I thought was possibly the all-star of the entire game that will get no love is going to be Parker Brailsford. That man gave up nothing tonight on that offensive line. So, and shout out to a couple notables. Michael Carroll stepped up for his first game, right? So, and really showed out, in my opinion. But yeah, AK Deer, right? Kevin Riley, these guys look great. I get it. It's Louisiana Monroe. But once again, if I'm going to tear you down, I'm going to build you right back up because we are a part of that media presence now. So yeah, there's my instant reaction.
And probably one of the best plays we saw from Michael Carroll was when he helped set that edge on that zone read by Ty Simpson. That was beautiful. And if you're going to go offensive line, give some props to Cam Dewberry too.
Oh yeah,
that guy's a hitter. He is not shying away from contact. He's driving people to the dirt every single play. And I haven't seen him lose too many battles just yet. And yeah, you're talking about people who don't normally get a shine. Well, let's talk about a newcomer tonight that was forced into his first starting assignment because Tim Keenan's out and then Jeremiah Beeman's out. That was freshman London Simmons. This is a guy who was a friend of our network, been on the Bama Standard itself several times. And we've been hearing all throughout fall camp of the tremendous transformation he's made and how he is just moving his way up the depth chart. And it was hard to keep him off the field. And we saw tonight why he is hard to keep off the field, because that young man showed out. When he was in, you could tell a difference. Isaiah Faga may be good. He may not be ready yet, but he wasn't getting the push that London Simmons was. London was bullying the guy in front of him every single play. Now, was his game perfect? No, there were a couple of times where he kind of got lost in some things, but hey, freshman, right? But the kid, his trajectory looks really good. I'm excited about what this young man is going to do. And having Tim Keenan and Beeman out, it makes you feel very good, a little bit more secure having someone like Simmons step up. All right, let's go.
He looked a little tired at some point. So I think that once he used a lot of energy the first two plays, he got a little gas. So I think he just got to build up his reps and get a little bit more. Build up his reps and get a little bit more technically sound, so he won't be just overwhelming himself with just trying to use power and speed, and so he can preserve some of that energy. But Landon looked good. Can't say nothing about it.
Absolutely. Well, let's start to break some things down, guys. Biggest takeaways or surprises. I want to hear what you took away. I know Louisiana Monroe, anytime you score over 70 points, the opponent isn't stellar, right? Well, there had been some things that kind of shocked you a little bit. So start us out, Johnathan, then down to Pettey, then Coach Carl.
My biggest takeaway is going to be the most obvious thing from this, and I'm saying the complete 180 this team looked like from an effort standpoint from last week to this week, right, or against Florida State into this game. I expected it to improve, and I expected it from the starters. What I did not expect is to see it all the way through all four quarters, right? And then seeing Ryan Grubb bring the intensity Kane Womack actually bring some intensity on that sideline. That's the first time I've ever seen that, by the way. Him actually voicing himself on that sideline. So that tells me there's some changes possibly happening in Tuscaloosa right now when it comes to that. And that was almost a relief to see. So that's going to be in all honesty, that's one of my biggest takeaways.
Those are good ones. Pettey, what you got?
My biggest takeaway is Jeremy Bernard is slowly becoming the guy at wide receiver. Not slowly. You caught away. He was the first two touchdowns. as much pub as Hollywood got coming into the season, I think Bernard is going to be at the end of the season. We're going to look back, say he's the best receiver on this football team. But alongside that, we really got hype going into the season about the depth at wide receiver. We didn't get to see it week 1. We saw it more tonight. Rico Scott got popped a little bit more tonight. That's one we were expecting to get some. And then it was almost like, where's Isaiah Horton? I know he got dinged up against Florida State a little bit, but then he got a few big plays there at the end of the game, got a touchdown. So it started to see a little bit of that wide receiver depth we thought we were going to tonight, and that's what my biggest takeaway. And out of it all, I think at the end of the season we're going to look back and say Bernard was the man. So that, as well as the running backs, got a little bit of juice tonight as well. And it's, you scored 72 points and it was a shutout. So every phase of the game obviously looked good. Your defense looked great. Your offense looked great. But that was my biggest takeaway is this receiver group that I was so highly looking forward to kind of started popping a little bit more tonight. And again, I think Bernard is special. That dude's the real damn deal.
Absolutely. 4 receptions for 109 yards and 3 touchdowns. The stat column would have been a lot better had we not got that ridiculous pass interference call, pass interference call against Jeremy Bernard. But he can't help the dude got in his damn way, right? But hey, this throw a flag just to throw a flag. Why not? But still, the play was freaking amazing. Coach Carl.
One thing I can say, man, my biggest takeaway is, man, that Ty didn't look terrified today. And that's honestly so. I think it's because he was less opponent, but he just didn't look terrified. He wasn't running around scared. He didn't have big, bulky eyes like he had against Florida State. So he wasn't seeing those ghosts that a lot of times Nick Saban used to talk about. He wanted to make teams see ghosts when the ball snapped. So Ty was seeing those ghosts last week. So this week he wasn't seeing any ghosts. So I think that's probably the best part about it. Even though he probably didn't throw a whole lot of balls down the field. I think about 5 passes down the field past 20 yards. But everything was about like quick screen, behind the line, check downs, a lot of short stuff. So I mean, a lot of passes out the backfield to the running back. And I mean, I just love to see Kevin Ryder, man. Kevin Ryder got that juice. He has good hands. He was catching balls that were poorly thrown that he had to spin around and make acrobatic catches. So
right,
that's a big thing about it, man. Like, I love to see the way he presses the gap and then he turns upfield. He's not doing all that juking in and out the hole. He's just getting what he can get and then going down and playing the next play. And that's what all you really want as a running back. Somebody that make one cut, get upfield, get all the plays that you can get. If the field's open up, then you make another spot. But you don't make another. You just don't be bouncing in and out of the hole, trying to make a whole lot of different cuts, man. Just wasting time into yourself. So my bigger thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love to see Ty not being rattled, and I love to see Kevin Ryder just getting down here, man. Just getting down here, running, and just turn up. And AK broke out on the last play. I just watched the revert. Just watch the rerun. Like, I don't know, kid got some juice. You can see what the hype about, but he's just got to get a little bit more weight on him.
Absolutely. Biggest takeaways from me, just the simple stuff that people really don't look at in terms of stat column. The sideline was on fire the entire game. You had people hyping each other up. When people were getting knocked down, they were picking each other up. It was like there was life breathed into the team. It wasn't like we were at a funeral, which pretty much had been the atmosphere for the past several games. You were begging for that. And tonight against a lesser opponent, we saw that. That was awesome. The other thing, Lotzier Brooks, good gosh. My biggest surprise is, why didn't we use him more in the previous game? This kid's got it. He's got that wiggle. He's got that make you miss. He's got hands. Good gosh. Didn't matter where you throw it up, he's going to snag it. And Ty Simpson, we got a chance to really see his arm, because there were a couple of throws tonight that made you go like, damn. If we would have had that last year, oh my gosh, what we could have done. But we're not going backwards, we're going forwards. A lot of good things to take away. Really excited for what we saw from Keelan Russell. He was a little bit timid, a little bit anxious when he first got in there. But then all of a sudden, it's like this switch came on, right? and he went from freshman to veteran real quick, and he began to guide that offense and showed out. 2 touchdowns his first outing, and they were some good throws, especially that throw to the walk-on wide receiver, MJ. I can't pronounce his last name.
Comer, whatever.
Forgive me, MJ. I know this was your moment, but the throw and catch for that touchdown, God, thing of beauty. Just really excited. Again, this praise them and when they do things well. And tonight we saw a lot of good things and a lot of good things that we could take into next week against Wisconsin. All right, so positives and negatives. I really don't know what negatives we can draw from it, but let's talk about it, guys. Let's start with Pettey, then to Coach Carl, and then Johnathan.
We won by a lot. I look, no injuries, clean game. It's been mentioned in the chat. Ty goes 17 for 17, and then Russell was 3 for 3. So the first half, quarterbacks are 20 for 20. Ground ball just hit the ground. All 3 quarterbacks came in, looked really good. Like I said, Russell looked a little timid, but then made a couple of good throws. A lot of players got playing time tonight. I saw a lot of young guys. I liked what I saw. A lot of young linebackers. So, no negatives, man. No negatives tonight. It's 72-0. There was a negative. I imagine somebody tonight walked into that stadium, went to the concession stand and tried to order a Denny dog and got a plain hot dog. That's a negative because you're still lying to all the people, you son of a.
Oh my God.
That's my negative. Did anybody in the stadium get a real Denny dog? Tell me that. If not, then I'll take my statement back. Otherwise, that's a huge fail.
Can we actually give Coach Carl some context? Coach Carl, Pettey and I were in school at the University of Alabama back when the Denny dog was truly what its namesake is, and it had. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do it because
special hot dog, but now it's just a plain ass hot dog, which is not a Denny dog. A Denny dog has mustard, ketchup, kraut, and whatever weird fermentation they do with it in the off season in the vats under Bryant Denny. Put it on the hot dog, put it together, give it to us, and people have eaten it because you can smell the aroma in certain parts of the stadium. Like, we've had Denny dogs in here, baby.
It's the fart.
But now you go, and it says Denny dog. And it's just a plain hot dog, and that's Yeah,
it's that sour sprout that makes your gas and then stay in your mouth.
You knew in Bryant Denny when the Denny dog, like by second quarter, that Denny dogs had started making their way through.
Coach Carl,
that's why they don't put it on there anymore.
Yeah,
it wasn't the cows; it was Bryant Denny on game days.
Yeah, that's what it's about, right? My negative is that Caden Proctor is still a little slower out of his break on 3rd and long. So he's and I don't understand why they still have him chipping on a 3 tech. Like, don't chip the 3 tech on pass rush, man. Just get in your pad break and sit and wait. And then if the 3 tech beats your guy on the outside and in the B gap, then you can touch down and try to pick him up, double team him, or you try to chip him back across. And then you sit back and wait on a linebacker. You don't see a linebacker, you don't see an edge rusher, then you double team. So that's one thing I really don't understand, like why they keep double teaming on the edge on 3rd and long, on 3rd and short. Unless you drive blocking. So, and another thing I don't like about the offensive line, we running the ball outside and they just one-on-one man blocking. They're not down blocking. I mean, just go ahead and down block. You run the ball to the left, you down block to the right, and then the tackle kicks out. You open up a little gap where the linebacker can then free flow through the hole, and then you bounce it outside for it. Now it's a corner and a running back. So they're not doing those little simple type things that I think that would work. Like down blocking is a key, man. Everybody down. Most teams that down block gets off a lot of rush yard. Like Oklahoma down block most of the day too, and then they got a lot of big rushing yard. on Justin Hayes' long touchdown run that he had in the beginning of the first quarter. It was down blocking, and he booked it, and then he was gone. So we just got to get back to better offensive line play. Even though today was an inferior opponent, next week Wisconsin gonna be physical in the front. That's a Big Ten team, so we got to do better on the edge and pass rushing on the interior because we missed a lot of blocks on the inside. So those are my negative. My positive, hey, the team kept fighting. Dre Kirkpatrick came down there like a missile, tearing folk head off. I mean, like he played like Earl Little last week. I love it, even though he got kicked out of the game. Yeah, I was hoping that he didn't get a targeting because maybe we can use him next week coming out here trying to knock somebody out. So I love that. That's a positive to me. We finally have somebody that actually trying to knock somebody head off like back in the days. So now when you see Dre Kirkpatrick come in the game next week in the second half, you're gonna see Wisconsin wide receiver looking around like, okay, there he go. Cause they'll be worried about how he coming down here like a missile trying to tear your head off. So that was like one of the best things I saw. That's positive to me. Didn't see that much, a lot of time with the freshman linebackers came in the game. Keita like he had that edge to him. And QB Reese had a little kick coming off the edge trying to pop, Right there, I see somebody coming talking about Red Morgan. Red Morgan coming down here to make a pop, but he's a little too slow. So him shooting the alley, he a little too slow getting out here. So he's shooting the alley trying to knock somebody out. He just got to get in the hole, break down, and make a solid tackle.
Exactly.
He don't have that speed. So that's my positive about it, man. Just finally see somebody trying to tear off a head. And Deontay Lawson squared up on the line of scrimmage and shuffled down the line and not turn sideways trying to dodge contact. So that's another positive.
Yes, this week he was not asking for consent before he tackled somebody.
I know, right?
He said it, not me.
Jonathan.
Yeah, no doubt. So let me give my positives first. Number one, there's no major injuries in this game, right? So we always want to go through a game and not have any injuries. It was mentioned earlier. I can't remember who mentioned it. Look, once again, if you tear them down, you got to build them up, guys. Will Conformity received so much negative attention last year. And really, I have to say, he looks much improved to me, to be honest, from last season to this. I get it. It's only 2 games. But once again, he looks better than he did last year easily. And I think we can all give our hats off to USF, right? I think they were a better team than most people want to give credit for. Ask Florida when everybody wanted to criticize us about it. The negatives I have for this is, damn it, I want a 100-yard rusher. I get it. I understand that we're distributing the ball and it looks good. I want a 100-yard rusher at the end of the day. We still got to win on the road in a noisy environment. I'm still not taking anything away from the win, but I want to see us win on the road because all of our losses have been where? Either on the road or neutral site against Michigan, right? And then still, I know this is nitpicking, guys, but the O-line, Dewberry and those guys are still kind of struggling passing off stunts and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the left tackle and the right tackle does take a lot of heat for that stuff. But if it's not passed off correctly, I think Coach Carl can speak to this. It's kind of on the guard sometimes, not necessarily just on the tackle when those things are passed off. So, yeah, they're catching a lot of heat, I think, that they don't deserve as well. But I definitely, and by the way, you took mine, Coach Carl. At the beginning of the game, Proctor was kind of struggling. So, like you said, they were getting around. They were beating him to the edge and kind of getting that bend and wasn't too impressed. And like I would say, the first half of the first quarter. Yeah, that's mine.
I think that actually will get better passing off once Jaden Roberts is reinserted into the start lineup full time. Still not sold on Vandermark. And when Jaden came in, there was a difference in the way that line played. Positive for me, guys, we only have 4 penalties as opposed to our countless that we have. That to me is a huge victory. So what we're going to do now, we're going to pause in the action. We're going to acknowledge some super chats. Thank you so much for what you do, what you gift us. Your presence is enough. And when you go above and beyond, we are even more grateful. Also, folks, get your questions in because we're going to have a question and answer segment towards the end. This is where we feature you. We'll pin them. So just go ahead and get them in. All right. First, we got to give a shout out to Young Buck, a.k.a. Junior 199, a.k. Deer. Needs more reps. He got that home run speed.
Clearly.
Dude's got some jets, man. It was amazing seeing what he was able to do. And let's go on down to the illustrious Don Parker. Did not watch this game in full yet. This was a team that Bama should have beaten this way. However, the question is, can this team play to a standard regardless of opponent and improve going forward? Well, that's just one of those things where it's wait and see, right? We don't know what we're going to get each week. I'm curious, as Tyler Siskey said a few days ago, and Pettey will remember this well, is what happens when we get hit in the mouth? What happens when adversity rears its head? Are we going to cower down like we did last week? Or are we going to rise to the occasion and start swinging back? That's a question we need answered. We'll find out once we go between the hedges to face Georgia. Then again, Wisconsin may bring a little bit of a fight. We don't know a whole lot about them, but we'll see something. Hopefully the Heat next week will come in full blast at 11 a.m. and they won't be able to handle that. We'll see. Don't really like the Jefferson Pilot Sports time slot, but,
It is.
All right. Real quick shout out to Deborah for becoming a new member of the network. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. All right. So that right now is the super chats we've got so far. So let's get right back into the action. And one of the people who actually makes the action happen is Title Towel, Whitwell Sports. Folks, your game day experience is never complete until you have on hand, whether it's in your living room or at Bryant-Denny Stadium, having that Title Towel in hand. If you don't got it, here's the link right here. Go to whitwellsports.com after the show. Enter the promo code STANDARD. You get a nice discount courtesy of your favorite network, the Bama Standard Network. All right, folks, things are moving along very quickly. So we've already named a lot of folks right now. So there has to be someone who stood out amongst the rest, right? So I'm going to go around the room. I want you to give me your offensive player of the game and defensive player of the game. We'll start out with Johnathan, then go down to Pettey, and over to Coach Carl.
I think you cannot not be the player of the game if you break not just an Alabama record, but an SEC record, and that's obviously Ty Simpson going 17-17. Look, this man received all types of criticism, by the way, for the past week and a half, right? So even before that, even last year, 17-17, 226 yards, averaging, and this is most important to me, he's averaging over 13 yards of completion, which means he's not just dinking and dunking it. He did have a couple of deep completions like Coach Carl mentioned, where he looked actually pretty damn accurate in my opinion, with 3 TDs, and of course, most importantly, 0, a big goose egg in that interception column. You know what I mean? So you always want to see that, because one of the biggest criticisms for me against Jalen Milroe was turnovers. If he didn't throw an interception, he was fumbling the ball. It was always inconsistent. Ask the Seattle Seahawks how that went for them, right, in their preseason game. Welcome to the Alabama life. Either way, moving on from that, on my defensive side, look, I'm going to be rooting for this dude all year, and I've already mentioned him earlier. You can imagine who I'm talking about. Talking about James Smith. I don't feel like he gets enough credit. And now that Tim Keenan went down, now that Jeremiah Beeman went down, more pressure is going to be put on him. Fogga and all those guys are great, but they're extremely young. James Smith has a little bit more experience, and the dude can flat out play, get to the quarterback, and he's going to be making all the right reads. I'm hoping it looks good so far, even against Florida State, in my opinion. He was the one standout on that defensive line. So those are my players of the game.
Very good ones. Pettey?
I actually think I think Johnathan answered right, but I'll give different ones just for the sake of naming somebody different. But I think you got to give it to Ty for going 17 for 17. And James Smith, well, he was all night. He was in the backfield, so he was the guy that popped the most. But I'll go with the guy I said that I think has established himself as a wide receiver one, and a lot of people were talking about him maybe being third or fourth going into the season. That's Jeremy Bernard. I thought Bernard again set the tone early for the offense. I mean, 72 points you can give to a lot of guys. I think Ty's the obvious, but I'm gonna go with Bernard. And on defense, like you said, I like Smith, but I'm gonna go with and the guy like you said, Coach. Dre brought back something that Alabama was missing. You would talk about what we were talking about on our show. What Tyler Siskey? There ain't no motherfuckers on that team. Well, he played like a Dre. You know what, motherfuckers? They get themselves knocked out of games by knocking dudes out. And it sucks. Don't want to miss him for Wisconsin, but I'm almost okay with it because it showed a little bit of asshole on that field tonight. And by God, I'll take it. So I'll go with Dre.
All right, Coach.
Yeah, Pettey, you make me mad, man.
Did I feel you, man? My bad.
You make me mad, man. You steal my Kirkpatrick, man. Dang.
I love Dre tonight, man. He popped.
Yeah, I like to pop, man. I'm like you, man. When you hit somebody in the mouth consistently, like Dre was doing from the start of the game, like he was coming out here from the start of the game, just popping people out. I love it. Haven't heard that kind of thump, man, since Reuben Foster laying that wood to damn Leonard Fournette on kickoff returns. Like we ain't hear that. Like we heard that. No, I take one better when Leonard Fournette when Reuben Foster yo damn Deshaun Watson. Like that was a pop. Oh, and Dre was coming out here hitting like that. So I love that shit. So I can't take Dre because you took Dre, but what I do is I do a little bit different. My defensive guy I'm gonna take is Justin Jefferson because at least he was in the right spot. Yeah, make a lot of plays. He tracked the ball well. He played good defense. He played good pass and game. Stayed in the pass lane. He didn't miss as many damn tackles he did last week. So and he wasn't as afraid this week as he was last week because he played a little pussy last week too. I can't lie. Him and Lawson were playing like some dang Bayou Putty Cats. Like really, they play soft as hell, and then the Putty Cat plays better against Clem. So I give it to Justin Jefferson, weak ass on defense, and then on offense, I have to, man. I hate to do it, but I do Kevin Riley, man, because his turn up ability was one of the keys on third down. You know, he's leading out the backfield, making all those catches on the backfield, making catches downfield, running hard, pressing the gap, hitting the hole consistently. So I would take Kevin Riley and Justin Jefferson. I'd take Justin Jefferson off my Putty Cat list for a week.
We gotta have that now. We gotta have like a behind you like a board. Putty Cat of the week.
Putty Cat of the week. And we need to have a sound bite playing too.
Oh, I can get that. I'll have that for next Tuesday. Don't worry. Tuesday if you want to use it, and then for the next post game.
All right, players of the game. It's hard not to choose the same ones that you did, and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. Offense, there's a number of people you can pick. I'm going to go with Parker Brailsford, arguably the best center in America, best offensive lineman in the SEC, and there's a reason Alabama's going to have success, not only on this game, but for the rest of the season. He's that dude. It's hard to question that whatsoever. He's got that motherfucker in him too, like Pettey just said.
We had to hit the explicit button, but
well, you know, it's after hours. This is a Bama Standard After Dark. Defensively, my gosh, you mentioned James Smith just wreaking havoc. You've been begging for it, you've been asking for it, but you know what? I'm gonna give it to the most improved player in week 2, Deontay Lawson. Hey, man. You finally did what we were begging for. You were in the right places. You weren't hesitating. You were squared up. You were doing what you're supposed to do. You resembled the player we expected. So I got to give him a shout out. But 1B, QB Reese, he had a fumble recovery, almost made it to the house, but he didn't realize that he's not fast. So the effort points are there, and then the very next series he forces a fumble. So congrats to QB Reese. He's going to be a good one.
He's that dude that just gets it done. I don't know, like you after you see it, you're like, how? Because the speed.
It's just they don't have it. Like
He was missing a gear.
He wasn't born with that now, so he got everything.
Oh, he's going to take it now. Oh no, he ain't.
Hey, just make plays. Really. We're going to need guys like him down the stretch when we start getting to the heart of the SEC and physicality is at its all-time high, and people are a little banged and bruised. We'll need those guys to take the load off of the starters. So, all right, hopefully. Now what's that, Coach?
I said hopefully.
All right, now it's time to turn it over to the folks who make this show possible. The audience. We're going to get some audience questions. We're going to start out. Well, got a little further ahead. Nelson, do y'all notice Coach DeBoer was more vocal in this game?
Him, Kane Womack, both. I mean, I already touched on it, man. This was one of my biggest touch. When I was watching the game, I figured we'd blow them out. So I'm looking for the subtle things. Not, the effort from the players was the obvious one, but I'm talking about where is Kane Womack? Is he in the box? Is he, you know what I mean? Is he down by the coach? Is he yelling? What does the team look like? Notice there wasn't players standing around by themselves like last week.
No.
Notice when Ty Simpson did very few times, by the way, got knocked down, players were helping him up. Guys, this looked like a complete turnaround when you talk about not just the being vocal part, but Nelson, to you and to the panel. Leadership starts at the top, right? That's where that's going to start and things are going to improve. So if Kalen DeBoer changes that mindset, Kane Womack can change that mindset, and Ryan Grubb already has that dog mindset, being a previous offensive line coach, right? So I think it kind of filters down to the rest of the team.
Yeah, you're only as good as your head coach, man. You're only tough as your head coach. So if your head coach is soft, the team going to be soft, right? Kalen DeBoer really probably tough inside the locker room, but soft on the sidelines. That's why you see a lot of painted fingernails on the team, right? So it's a lot of softness going on in Alabama. In this game, he was a little bit more tough. He was fussing, he was talking, he was speaking in the quarterback. Every time the quarterback came on the sideline, he had something to tell him, about check downs, I guess misplays that he should have read that they didn't read. Guys didn't hit the hole right. He had something to say about it. So, yeah, he was more vocal. He was more energetic this game. So, and it probably because, he really wasn't too concerned about the opponent. But yet, and still, every opponent on your schedule is a big opponent, so you can't take nobody lightly. And I guess he learned from last week by taking Florida State lightly. When Florida State came to take your damn head off, but you came just to damn show and play a game. So today, there was more energetic, more enthusiastic. They came to play a game and not just they came to take ULM head off and not just to show and play a game. The Alabama A don't mean nothing, man. It's just a fashion show. Like I'm waiting right now. It's a fashion show. It really don't mean nothing anymore until you put fear back in people's hearts when they see Alabama coming. So today was a good show. Hopefully it carry on the rest of the season. I like that Kane Womack was more vocal myself. So Johnathan, you hit that right on the head. Kane Womack was very vocal, very excited. He was out there celebrating with the kids, kind of like Scott Cochran used to do. So we see, like we starting to see a little bit more pounce with the coaches there, man, and I think that's big when it comes down to college football.
Absolutely. And we got our newest member, Deborah Reach. Now this is how Alabama fans should react, win or lose. Can we give them a bit of a break for FSU? First game for a lot in that environment. Fans, our media and national media disappointed me this week. Yes, Pettey.
I want to take this one. Look, man, it's going to take a lot to get the taste out of last week. It wasn't just the loss to Florida State. I think it was the look. It's like what Coach was talking about. It's how soft the team looked. But there is another side to this, and I mentioned it. I whispered it. Nobody wanted to hear it last week, and I didn't really want to say it loud because it wasn't the time. But there is a side to this story where at the end of the year, Florida State's one of the final 8 teams, or maybe even one of the final 4 teams in the playoffs. You're like, okay, so we lost in the opening week on the road in Ty's first start, a lot of new guys in a hostile environment. Look, that was crazy, and we just kind of walked into a buzzsaw, and they popped us in the mouth, and we didn't react. And then we had 10 weeks to get our shit together and become a whole different team because there is talent inside that locker room. Yeah, Deborah, I think you're right. And look, we're in a microwave society, and what do we say it every year. First week, everybody overreacts, and then we make fun of ourselves for overreacting 6 weeks down the road. Now, to say that what we saw week one isn't some real problem that festers later on down the road, I'm not saying that either. It could very well be. This team could get popped in the mouth in Athens in a few weeks and not know how to respond. But no, there is a real world where Florida State is an absolute beast this year, and we walked into it and weren't ready for it. So, no, that's not the craziest damn thing on the planet, where Alabama does get their crap together, because let's be real, people weren't just hyping Alabama within Alabama going into the season. It was external. There were people all over the country that were starting to talk about this being a Final Four playoff type of team. So, yeah, let's pump the brake. And look, let's not overhype tonight's win, but let's not also just decimate what happened last week, because there's a lot that could go into that.
Okay, so let me make this very short and sweet. I don't excuse lack of effort. I'm sorry. If the game plan doesn't work, if you're out of position, whatever. But when you don't run to the damn ball, it's unexcusable. Yeah, I don't care. So I'm not giving them a break whatsoever for Florida State. If they would have lost by 100, but gave the effort, I could live with that. But you lost by 100 without giving any effort. So I excuse none of that. I'm sorry.
Period. I'm with you on that one, John. USM, right? You and ULM played their ass off tonight with less talent. They ran hard every single play. You didn't see those guys walking out one time. Even on long runs, long pass play, they were still pressing the quarterback as best as they could. They were still chasing down damn runs. We didn't show none of that effort last week. Lawson ass was walking. He was getting sideways in the hole. You can't make no damn tackle in the SEC on Power 4 school getting sideways in the damn hole. He didn't come down to lay no wood. They played like a bunch of pussycat last week. So no,
well,
they don't get it.
That's why I said
they don't get a pass.
Something you could see manifest itself later on. What I'm also saying, though, is we could also not overreact. That Florida State team might be a damn good team. No, you don't give a break, but you don't give a pass for the way the team played. That's why I said, look, because if you do into Athens and that team that showed up in Florida State responds the same way, no, because then no, there is no pass, because then we got a real problem at this. So no, it's not a pass, but there is another side of the story where you ran into a team that might be better than you.
It's just a wake up. It's a wake up call. It's not a pass. I don't really think Florida State was better. I think Florida State had the edge that Alabama didn't have. Florida State came out with an aggression that Bama came out with today. Florida State came out last week. Florida State were trying to knock their asses out last week, and they was ended up being the punching bag. So it's like you get in the damn ring with Floyd Mayweather, his ass dodging damn punches and trying to steal you. They weren't fighting Floyd Mayweather. They got in the damn ring with damn Tank down one with Tank last night. I forget Tank goddamn name, that boxer, but they got in there with Tank and they got their ass hit. Like, you're not getting in the ring and you dodging. You got in there Manny Pacquiao and you got your ass hit. But you didn't damn last long like Floyd. You didn't dodge enough like Floyd till you try to come out with a win. You just got your ass hitting them up. And then when you tried to damn do something, it was on a turnover and they still hit you in the damn mouth. So no, you don't get a pass for being soft. Like, why would I give you a pass? Sorry, Deborah, I love you. Thank you for joining the channel, but we can't give a pass for being soft. We give a pass for effort, not for being soft.
And I think you asked the $1 million question in that, though. Was Florida State, was that a wake-up call, or was that an insight to a bigger, like something a reality we're not ready to face yet, that this team, what we expect? And that didn't get answered tonight. That's the big. No. You wanted the biggest takeaway. That didn't get answered in the 72 and against a high school-esque program. So
Yeah, because we had 300 plus yard passing and 145-yard rushing. So that didn't get answered right. It should have been more like 300 and 300.
All right. Let's get back to the questions. We got a lot left to go, and we'll make sure we get everyone paid attention to. Well, Reed, did they bench Hubbard first half? No, he played the entire game. Let's see. Nelson, my question is, why isn't Jalen Hale playing more? Well, how are you going to tell to sit down right now on that first rotation? It's hard to tell Jeremy Bernard, hey, man, you need to go sit down for a second so Jalen can come on. Hey, Rico, we need you to take a breather. Or, hey, Lotzier Brooks, man, you're the second coming of Jalen Waddle. Potentially, we need you to chill out just a second. But, I mean, it's
that
hard.
was a very diplomatic way to say, guys, our receiving core hadn't been real good the last couple of years, and they're probably getting replaced by better dudes now.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
And then, where is Jalen Hill in terms of his recovery at this point? Is he back to 100%, or is he still trying to figure things out? I know from a injury like he suffered, it takes a minute, especially mentally, to get back to being 100. So that's probably the main reason why we're not seeing a lot out of him just yet, but in due time.
And I just want to throw something out real quick before you start. So, Deborah, no one on here saying you're stupid or nothing like that. Just even what you put out there. It's not towards you. This is just us reading our own opinion of the question, essentially. So I just want to clarify that.
I had your back, Deborah.
Kelly Wood, what about Adams? He was very good tonight, too. Yeah, return game. I think we found our guy.
Yeah.
He's got some burst, aside from when he was getting the clothesline from hell from the Aussie rules punter. But he looks like he can be a dude. And when he got an opportunity in the second half to shine, he made the most of it.
Yep.
I think he better start doing the fair catch a little sooner, because if he getting the SEC pay with that late fair catch, they're going to tear his head off.
Yeah.
They're going to tear his head off.
Well, it happened a couple times before. Adams does wait. Javier Arenas was bad about that. Javier was one of our best, if not the best, punt returner in Alabama history. But man, he loved it when he caught a fair catch. It was really close.
Hey, Javi wanted to house it every play,
every time.
I can't blame him because he was good at it.
Yeah.
5-stripe uprising. Do y'all think we start seeing more of the freshmen by the end of the year? They definitely made some cases tonight. How do you want to take that one?
I mean, it's a long season. Yeah. I mean, I think they made cases that if things start to falter, that they're going to get more opportunities tonight because they played hungry. It's funny you asked that, because it kind of hit me tonight. Boy, we're in week 2. These seasons are long, and you see guys that are starting to get to play that might be disgruntled that they're not playing in week 2 that flash tonight that might become a big part of the team, later on. I think Riley, A.K. Deere, might be getting some more carries later on after what he showed. So I don't know, maybe not next week, but yeah, as the season goes on, there's some guys that made cases for some playing time as some of the guys that are starters showed what they showed in week 1.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see that if they continue to progress at a very high rate, just what kind of rotation we can be looking at. I mean, we can end up suffocating teams because the depth is just really showing out at a high level. I mean, the freshmen who did play tonight, they made the most of their opportunities. I love what we saw from Justin Hill in the moments he was in there. He looked really good. I'm excited about what he's going to bring to the table. Nelson, where's Marvin when you need him? We finally got a targeting.
Oh, he'll be on Tuesday night. So.
He'll be on Tuesday night giving his take on it.
Be on tonight but it was based off the tequila, and I guess the tequila won.
Yeah, if it's night games, y'all just forget. You're not going to see Marvin Constant because
y'all think Marvin's tough. Yeah. Y'all get nervous about those muscles. Just bring some tequila and you can take his big ass down.
Nelson, this is a good question. Who do y'all think will be number 2 running back when Jam Miller returns? Easy, Kevin Riley.
Kevin Riley, right? He's been even last week, the few touches he got, I thought he was most impressive. This is 2 weeks in a row. I think there's no longer a question. I think the reason he started this game was because he could be the starter behind Jam, or I guess the backup behind Jam Miller, depending on what Jam Miller looks like. And I'm telling you right now,
He may be the starter.
Exactly. I think one of the key things that was said at the beginning of that game that nobody addressed afterwards in the media was, what did they say Kalen DeBoer did? He opened up practice and he opened up positions. In other words, you're going to earn your position. So if you're the better guy, and I think the best proof of this is you didn't see Richard Young till late, right? Kevin Riley was that dude. He was part of the game plan. If you go and watch Ryan Grubbs at Washington and you watch him at everywhere before, Fresno State, Sioux Falls and all those places, he does one thing. He leaks those running backs out. He leaks his tight ends down the seams. Guys, what we saw today was a Ryan Grubbs offense for the first time at Alabama, I think. And it makes it very easy on the quarterback when you have that style of offense because your reads are very simple. 1, 2, 3. If one's open, you throw to 1. If one's not open, you go to 2, right? So it's not a look over and plus read the whole field. It's just one's open, throw to 1.
I think you answered your question in the question. I think Jam Miller's probably going to be the number 2 running back when Jam Miller. He's not going to it's going to take some time to come back and get back in play and shape. I mean, you don't just come back like you were before the injury. It's going to take him some while playing back in. And if Riley keeps progressing, he may be the number 1 guy regardless. So, I mean, I'm not sold. Look, we saw what Jam had
I see that you're hesitating.
I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to prevent from saying, but just say it.
Guys, we didn't have the 3-headed monster of the Saban era like the last couple years. I'm not sold. I mean, maybe Jam comes back and he's the guy, but Jam may come back and get lost in the shuffle is more of what I'm saying. He may come back and be the 2 or 3 guy himself. Again, Riley has shown me something that I haven't seen in the Bama backfield in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Honestly.
He's the guy.
And he's one of the smallest, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. AK are the 2 smallest, and they the 2 home run hitters, too. So, I mean, I love it, man, because this kid, Jam likes to bounce outside. Like, he'll cut, he'll bounce outside. He don't want to go in there and take them hits on the linebacker. Man, Riley don't
Daniel
care.
Hill will.
He'll take the hits from the linebackers, but he don't have that. He just don't have that twitch about him. Riley has that twitch about him. Like, he'll go inside, take a hit, and then he can bounce on outside and beat you with speed. So I love him, man. I can't lie. I was surprised when I saw him last week, and then he came out and he ran hard. He was honestly the best running back last week. He was the best running back today. And going forward, I hope he's the starter because he brings something that Jam don't bring, and that's just sudden quickness and ability to hit the hole and just get the positive yards, man. Period.
Oh, and his pass pro is good.
Question:
If he was 10 pounds bigger, hell, he'd be so serious.
Yeah.
Question from Big Slum: what's going on with Mbakwe though? He is not making the transition to wide receiver that he probably thought that he should be making. Honestly, I think he should have stayed on the defensive side of the ball. His route running still isn't there. He's not really established himself as a true wide receiver yet. So right now, with the guys who are showing out it's hard to bring Mbakwe into the mix.
We're so deep on the backfield, you know what I mean, as far as the defensive back. So he moved over to receiver. But I think the second coming of Latsier Brooks and those guys, I mean, we're not even talking about Derek Meadows. We're so deep at receiver. It's insane. Now, I will say this, though. As much as I want to give Latsier Brooks credit, and all, which I am giving them credit, I am going to point out something, guys. This defense didn't come up and jam these receivers. They weren't playing press man. They were playing off these guys. So it's going to look a whole lot different when we play a Georgia team, maybe even when we play Wisconsin, to be honest with you. What does those smaller receivers look like when they get jammed and pressed, right? What do they look like coming off those routes? So I think we got to keep that in mind moving forward as well.
And I was surprised we
Yeah.
didn't see more of Derek Meadows in this game.
And then another thing that I was going to allude to earlier, man, that we didn't see anybody just boom, just come off the line of scrimmage and just beat their guys. Like there's nobody that actually come off the line of scrimmage, set the guys up at the top of the rock, beat them for the post inside. Jerm ran over one, but that separation, like I didn't see anybody with that separation like that. But last year, Brook, when he came across that middle on the drag route, like he beat the guy bad. Other than that, there's no separation. Jeremy Bernard is beating people when he ran over and beating them on dig route. Like boom, he hit the top of the route, pull, pop, and then he dig on the inside where you get that yard or so separation on the dig route. But other than that, man, it's no separation. So I think that's why Ryan is so important because boom, he can get out the top of his route, he can get out his break, he can beat you off the line of scrimmage. It just come out of the gate and just get going because I was suspecting last year Brook being in the slot to come out the slot, boom, he go across the post and be wide open across the middle. Ty just lobs it to him because he's running so damn fast and no one there to catch him. But we didn't have that today, so we got to work on some things on offense still. Even though it was a very good showing, we still haven't figured out the fact that we got wide receivers that can actually, like John said, get off man coverage.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our remaining three. Super chat, Don Parker, $10. We greatly appreciate you. We can't hate on Jefferson Pilot. Grew up with it as well. JB Hall yelling stream music, announcing basketball, and Gordon Soley announcing Georgia Championship Wrestling. Doth the Rose versus Ric Flair. Thank you, Don. Sorry, y'all didn't know y'all gonna get a little bit of the dream tonight, did you?
Oh, I already know, bro. Look, Justin, if you're on here at all, I know some type of wrestling reference is coming some sort of way at some point in time.
Hey, Don set me up. I couldn't avoid it.
It's
Ephraim, should Russell be QB2? Jonathan, go ahead.
No, the one thing that got pointed out was that it was said, I guess, by Ryan Grubb that Keelan, he's not the all-star everybody wants him to put it out to be. He's a true freshman. He's still got progressions, but he's still got the playbook to learn. That was made very obvious in this game, as in what they were saying that the coaching staff was saying. He's like, he looks great. He's progressing really well, but he's not ahead of Austin Mack in terms of knowing that playbook, knowing the reads to make and all that stuff. He looks great for a true freshman. But that's what he is. He's a true freshman. Once again, I keep saying it, guys. Bryce Young did not start as a true freshman. Tua Tagovailoa did not start as a true freshman. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, and this is a very complicated system to learn as a freshman. So as great as I want to say he's going to be, we still don't know what we're going to get out of any of these guys at any point in time. How long do we question Ty Simpson? You know what I mean? So, and he was a 5-star. Now, I'm not saying he was Keelan's level of 5 stars in terms of notoriety and the hype behind it, right? But yeah, it's nice to want to see it, but I say let Austin Mack have his moment. He's earned it at this point.
You want to see a deer in headlights? Let that kid hit the field in Athens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Gelato, $4.99. We appreciate you. I'm stay off Kalen Top for right now, but I will be close by Roll Tide.
Staying off Kalen Top for right
now. I think I'm basically stay off Kalen right now, but I'll be closely watching.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he was just trying to say staying on Kalen's head because Top don't sound good, my friend. Top don't sound good, my friend.
Not the craziest thing I've heard tonight. I just read on this BYU Stanford game coming out of the half, breaking down a football title fight. And I'm like, wait, what game? Did I miss something? No, it's BYU Stanford. What the hell are we talking about, ESPN?
Didn't Hawaii beat Stanford?
They did.
What are we talking about?
And Arizona State also knows what it feels like to be Alabama now.
Yes.
They lost.
Mississippi State beat them.
Rushed the field for beating number 12 Arizona State. Look, guys, I get Arizona State. How bad is your program when you rush the field after beating Arizona State?
And to be honest with you, Pettey, I know you're anti-state because you're a double agent, But
No,
you know
it's a
what?
great game.
Don't even fine Mississippi State fans for doing that. Just
No,
give
let
it to
them
them.
have it. God bless. Let them have it. Look, I had the game on. State played a hell of a game tonight, man. But
Hey, they should fine damn Arizona State for losing that game,
they
right?
should fine Arizona State for losing the game. You're going to make fun of Mississippi and make me laugh along with you as a fellow Mississippian. Like, well, you're right. We don't have hotels. It's a shithole. And then you lose. You dumbasses.
Mosquitoes the size of dinosaurs.
Dude, they're freaking pterodactyls. They carry off cars.
Damn.
Come to the Delta. You'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Lord have mercy. Don't do Mississippi like that, man. I used to love driving through Mississippi.
He and I are from Mississippi.
Oh, I'm from Mississippi.
We speak to this because they're facts.
Well, that's why I love AK too, man. I love them Sip boys, but man, it's
Tom Barker hit it. More cowbell.
By
By the way,
Both Nick Saban and Kirk Herbstreit called that today, and pick 'em or whatever it is.
Hey, I had it in my pick 'em. That's why I was all at cowbell tonight. I had State in my parlay. Hell State, clangy, you dumb bastards.
all right.
Okay. Now, as we begin to wind things down, you'll never find a boring moment on this channel. Final thoughts as we end the game that was Alabama versus ULM, and we look towards the future, which is the Badgers. Guys, give me your final thoughts, or maybe messages you felt the team sent tonight. Start us out, Coach Carl, then go to Pettey, and then Johnathan.
The message the team sent tonight, man, is that they can be physical, that they can be furious, and that they are motivated to continue this Alabama run that we all love to see, man. And I think the coaching staff understands the value of competition in Alabama now, that they got under fire last week for losing with 4 of the last 5 games. So I think the team actually waking up. I didn't see any color fingernails today, so I think the team actually getting the grips of it. Still seeing all these different color mouthpieces, but I am seeing a little toughness in the team, and I like the fact that they're actually playing a little bit faster. So, I mean, I think my final thought is that the team actually played well today, even though it was against a less opponent. You should beat, and we actually beat them without giving up many yards and giving up any scores. So that's a positive to me, man. We finally get a shutout for the first time in a while.
All right, Pettey.
Yeah, I guess my final thoughts are, we'll go back to what we said earlier, what AJ said. Like, every week, it's a faceless opponent. You're Alabama, be Alabama, play to your standard, not the standard of whatever you think it is, and everything will work itself out. But tonight, you can only play who's on the schedule, and you took care of business. So I'm proud of that effort, and saw a lot of good things from the young guys. But again, we take a step up next week, and then we take another step up the next week. So that's what I want to see. This Bama team tonight do it again next week against a better competition. And then I want to see us answer the bell again when a team that is absolutely going to punches back. So final thoughts, definitely, we didn't crawl into a shell. We didn't act like a bunch of little bitches. We showed up tonight and punched. Keep it going. See it next week. We said it on the show Tuesday, or what could have won 150 tonight and still not just going to feel completely good about it until you face someone that can punch back. And God bless that team. They didn't punch. Now, I give us credit. We punched the shit out of them tonight, and guys were swinging. But they didn't punch back. Those guys didn't punch back. They took it and they went into a shell, and we beat them down. So great, did what we were supposed to do. Let's keep that going.
Johnathan?
My final thought is this: can we improve with consistency, not just on momentum? I can lose games, guys. Number one, I'm not going to sit there and pretend Kalen DeBoer is Nick Saban. He's not, right? So Nick Saban is the best. He's the greatest college head coach of all time, right? So let's be real with that. But I think what I'm looking for is last season when we had highs, what did we do the following week? We lost. So believe it or not, this team's probably feeling a high from this win. So how do we carry that? How do we re-energize that into Wisconsin? If we go into Wisconsin and beat them by like 35 points, I'm feeling really good that this team is starting to understand long-term what it takes to go in and week out and almost reset yourself, hit that reset button after 24 hours after a win is what Nick Saban said, right? So and start from the bottom, like you got to do it all over again. Because if you're consistently doing it this year again, at that point, there's going to be real issues talked about later on this season. But I think, and I'm giving hope that we learned our lesson week 1 and we can reset it every week.
Absolutely. And real quick, we got another super chat. Don Parker, $5. Pettey's saying what I've said for years, play to the standard. Still got much work and much to improve.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely not going to take this game to heart, although the best message to me was they gave a damn. Now, let's see that next week.
And when you play to the standard of the Crimson, nobody in college football can beat you.
Exactly.
At all. And I think that the information Nick Saban said on TV got to the team too when he said that he didn't think Bama could actually live up to it. So maybe that little message that he was talking to people when he didn't even rank Bama as a college football team got to the team. Because I think, like I said last week, man, I think that message was directly to the players of Alabama. It wasn't to college football. It was to Alabama. It's like his way of throwing a jab at the kids to make the kids do better.
He still loves them. They're still his kids. All right. We're coming to the end of the show, but before we get out, we got to let folks know how they can find us. We have things for folks to be a part of outside of this network. So let's talk about it. Start us out, Johnathan, then Pettey, and Coach Carl.
Mine's very easy at JLewis85 on X, and then Johnathan Lewis, obviously, on Facebook. Big thing I want to announce is me and Coach Carl got big things working for high school recruiting. He's in the middle of work, so it's going to be a lot of me right now, but we're going to be releasing a lot of great information on recruiting called the Recruiting Standard here in the next week. Got big plans moving forward with that, so definitely a lot of exciting recruiting news. And by the way, guys, it's not just about Alabama recruits. It's going to be the state of Alabama and undiscovered kids that we're going to be interviewing and talking about and going to these games. So,
all right, Pettey, you're up, sir.
Good stuff. Pettey_Daniel. Catch me here on Postgame shows, but you can catch me more importantly on Tuesday nights with the Bama Standard, the flagship here, always bringing the great guests. Look, it's never too late. Go back and catch last week. We had A.J. McCarron, the winningest quarterback in Alabama history, bringing fire down on the show. And Tyler Siskey, who is never shy of words, but always, hit that like and subscribe because we've always got we are the Bama Standard. We bring the standard every time, not just, when the NIL is right. So catch me here. Roll Tide.
Love it. Coach Carl.
Hey, man, you can find me on the blog on YouTube with Coach Carl. And you can find me at Twitter as Coach KD Taylor. You can find me here at the Bama Standard with the fellas, and me and Johnathan with the Recruiting Standard. So get at me, man. Leave your name in the comment, and we'll chat back with you. Sometimes you can find me over there, just my humble opinion with Coach Sean and Brinsky and the crew too. So man, y'all like and subscribe to everybody, man. And it's just as long as we're doing positive things and content, you like and subscribe. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, and welcome to the network, Coach Carl. Glad to have you as a part of the Bama Standard family.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you to everyone who showed up tonight in the chat. We had a lot of y'all. That's a pretty big deal after playing an opponent like ULM, but I think we as fans, we need to know what type of team we were going to see tonight, and I think we are off to a positive start. Again, consistency is the key. Let's do it again next week against Wisconsin, a little bit tougher. And then let's come back, do a full circle and that week off and begin to really assess, really deep dive into who we are and who we want to be and doing everything we can to keep that streak against Georgia from being broken. So thank you to everyone who gave financially. Again, we never asked for it. We don't require it, but we're very grateful when you do it. Thank you for all the commentary. Gosh, great stuff tonight. Thank you to Whitwell Sports, Title Towel, who's the official sponsor of the post-game show on Saturday nights. Come back next week. We got more stuff coming for you, starting off the top of the week with Teague's Take. George Teague and his son JT will be breaking down film and giving their assessments of what they saw this past weekend and then what to look towards in terms of Wisconsin. And then Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, the Bama Standard. We will be giving a little bit of commentary of this previous game. We're going to let Marvin get his fill in. Then it's all Badgers, and we'll probably have some guests that you want to definitely come by and check out. And we'll be right back here next week immediately following the game. But until then, that's going to do for us. On your way out, like I said, if you're watching on X, come on over to the channel, subscribe. If you're already on the channel right now and you hadn't done so, subscribe, hit that like button, show us some love. But that's going to do it for all of us here. Late night, Alabama wins 70-plus points over ULM. Got the job done, but now a new challenge awaits. Roll Tide, everyone.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.